Peace and blessings. And I see many of you are beginning to join these precious moments with me at this moment. In Ninja Town, Jenna, investigatrix. Blessings to you too. Valentina, all those who are coming in for this moment. God bless you all. Obviously, the presence that's never in absence is always blessing you. So I appreciate that you're taking the time to come on to the IG Live for a moment. Bless you. Lots of love to you as well. You guys have like, from Paris, all right, beautiful. Interesting names. Dr. Ishmael Tete. Somebody said something about Dr. Ishmael Tete. Lisa Soul, Miller. The Fairy Book, Mava, okay. Wildly Fermented. You must be going for longevity. Love you there in Miami as well. Norway, beautiful. Colombia, beautiful. Canada, beautiful. South Africa, beautiful. Stockholm, Mexico. Let's go live together. We are. Frankfurt, Germany. Yes. Italy, ciao. Another one from Norway. Barbados, India. Beautiful. Miami. That's Miami, Colombia. Another individual from India, DC, where I was born. Texas. Sri Lanka. Oh, my good friend Sri Ariyaratne lives there with the Savogia movement in Sri Lanka. So a dear friend. Blessings from London. Flop and Flip. Charlotte, North Carolina. Love to join me at Agape one day from California. Well, soon you'll be able to do so. We have Vienna, Austria. Another individual from Germany and Sweden. Somebody's from North Africa. Egypt is what it's called. Sometimes we call it Kemet. Oh, someone's hailing in from Russia. Wow. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Iceland. Blessings from Rhythmia, New Jersey, Wales, Italy. This is beautiful. This is New York City. Another individual from India. This is powerfully international. You know, they call us Inglewood. All right. I'm sorry for the loss of global cardio care in Inglewood. That was a powerful loss to the black community there in Inglewood. That she saw I was doing such good work there, and you know, you do too much good work in health, you might get taken down. Brooklyn, New York, France, Costa Rica, Barcelona, Portugal. I'll be at the retreat. Beautiful. Nottingham, UK. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The Indian Ocean, California. Well, listen everybody, I'm so glad you tuned in. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't done an IG Live for a while. You know, so many other things were needing my attention, so to speak. And so I will begin again. And I'll also be getting a podcast shortly. Recently, last week, I took the week and I did 7 days of intensive meditation training in Sedona, Arizona, at a place called the Bio-Cybernaut Institute. Bio-Cybernaut, it's like astronaut, but it's cybernaut. Bio-Cybernaut Institute. The founder being a man by the name of Dr. James Hart, H-A-R-D-T. Very powerful work. He was the individual that was the pioneer in recording alpha waves, to actually be able to read an individual's alpha waves. He invented the first equipment for that. So I was there for 7 days. I was just my 5th time going. So I was at alpha 5 level. And really mapping my whole brain and going into states of higher consciousness and getting feedback from the biofeedback equipment as to the output of the alpha I was producing, and in my case, the slow and the fast delta waves. They were also showing up. I had a Kundalini experience the very first day. They measured it, and then the delta waves were across my brain for most of the time. Delta is a very, when you have open-eye delta, that means that you carry a lot of power for manifestation, making things disappear or making things appear, so that my word, the word that I speak in prayer, is powerful because I have expanded alpha waves, but have really slow and fast delta waves as well. That was a powerful experience. I go and do a tune-up every couple of years, but I don't think I'm going to wait that long this time. So, during this time of the year, we normally do our annual spring meditation retreat. Everybody can't go to BioCyber now, I know that, but we do an annual spring meditation retreat. But because of the lay of the land right now, many things are obviously on Zoom or Instagram. So I will be doing my spring meditation retreats in intensive. And like today, I'm going to be talking about soulful success. We're going to do some processes together. But the spring retreat is called Spring Resolution, Renewal, Stabilization, and Liberation. Okay? And it's tomorrow. Hey, it's tomorrow. I'm looking at these notes right here. It's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And it's Spring Resolution, Renewal, Stabilization, and Liberation. And so since you probably can't get away to do the 7-day meditation retreat, do this intensive with me. And we're going to cover, obviously we're going to meditate. We're going to do some affirmative prayer. We're going to do some visioning. We're going to do some pranayama, some breath work. We're going to have some uplifting music. And then we're going to have a Q&A, a Q&A with me on that. So that's tomorrow. Go to Agape Live at agapelive.com. Register. I think the fee is only about $49. It's really inexpensive, so that everybody can get in. And what we're going to do is have you become aware of any resolutions that you created at the beginning of the year and have some reflection to see where you stand with them. Do you still want those same resolutions? Or have you changed and now you want something different? Or if you forgot about them all the way and need to begin again. And so, let's just stop for a moment. People are still signing on. But let's just stop and officially turn within. Anybody who's just coming on right now, we're turning within. We're extracting our attention from the external world, the world of facts, circumstances, situations, people, places, things, events, all of that which is locked in time and space. We're letting go of all of that for a moment. And we're turning within and beginning to elevate ourselves into a deep level of gratitude, a deep level of thanksgiving and dynamic appreciation. We can do this. We can lift our awareness, and we can be grateful for something, or we can be grateful for nothing at all. Just come into the altitude and the attitude of gratitude. And in this consciousness of gratitude, the great recognition factor is enhanced. We begin to recognize that we're surrounded by an infinite presence of love and beauty and intelligence. Life itself called by millions of names. Great God of the universe, the God of all creation, the source of all creation, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, Lord God Almighty, the presence that is never an absence. Life with a capital L is called by many names, but its nature is the same. It is love, intelligence, beauty, and more. We recognize this presence everywhere and feel so at one with it in this moment, in this bedrock of gratitude, that I am able to say, I am what thou art, and thou art what I am. No distance whatsoever, no separation. We are inseparable from the presence. And it is from this awareness that I speak the word that cascades out from no thingness to become the somethingness of our life, that each and every individual tuning in right now, and those that will watch this later, are blessed exceedingly well with a dynamic peace of mind, a dynamic sense of well-being, wholeness, wellness, harmonizing prosperity, health, vitalizing integrity with one's soul, and a continued unfoldment of us glowing and growing from a glory to an even greater glory. This is the word that's being spoken, and this word is law. Cannot and will not tarry with yesterday. It only knows its own unfolding, and I speak it for each of us now, knowing that as I rise up, I draw all individuals into this atmosphere of unity with the presence, and all distractions dissolve themselves. This is what I'm feeling right now. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that feeling. My mentor, Dr. Homer Johnson, used to say that back in the 70s. Don't mean a thing if it don't have that feeling. We allow for the feeling tone of gratitude and thanksgiving and connectedness to be right here, and we sit for a moment in the silence, saying in substance, now and always, I manifest abundance of prosperity, peace, love, wellness, and the absolute feeling and knowingness that all of my needs are being met. Now and forever, I manifest abundance of prosperity, peace, love, intelligence, and the knowingness that all my needs are met. I rise in this frequency and carry everyone with me now. Be right here, stay right here. We're just tuning in, we're just having a moment of prayer and meditation, connecting with our sense of gratitude and thanksgiving, embracing the affirmation, now and always, now and always. I manifest abundance of prosperity, peace, love, safety, intelligence, and all of my needs being met with ease and with grace. We sit with this awareness. Be aware that there are now so many people all around the world, all of those nations that I mentioned, all of those countries, plus the United States, now sitting in an awareness of our oneness with the presence and catching the feeling tone of now and always. I manifest abundance of prosperity, peace, love, why not joy, dynamic health, safety, and the knowingness that all needs are met. People all over the world are now sitting in this frequency together, and it's being amplified all around the globe. All of our needs are met. It's amplified all around the globe. We're manifesting the abundance of prosperity and great health and safety and well-being right now. It's being magnified. Each person that joins in exponentially increases this field. And we're lifting the planet, more importantly, the sentient beings on the planet into a higher frequency. This is the good news. It is from this awareness that I give thanks for the word spoken. I give thanks for the dynamic coherence of each and every one of us, cohering with a love, a peace, a safety, a well-being, dynamic health, prosperity, and the divine knowingness that all of our needs are met and everything is working together for our good. We feel this in our bones, and we allow it to be so now and unto forevermore. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Now, so be it. So be it. So when we say "and so it is," for those of you who are new to that language, that means that it's done, and so it is. So we seek to live in the feeling tone that it's already done, and then that already done feeling tone compels us to right action, it compels us to right conversation, and it compels us to right thought. Not just thinkingness, not just the mentation of thoughts that you've had the day before, but original thought. Original thought is that which is shot from the mind of love intelligence, and that's called inspiration. So that when we hang in the "and so it is" vibration, then inspiration happens on the thought level, conversation happens on the declaration and the decree level, and high conversations, and then actions take place that follow that. We find ourselves in the right place at the right time, talking to the right people, doing the right thing. And so it is. Now, so be it. So be that vibration. And when you fall, you come back. You say to yourself, now and always, I manifest the abundance of prosperity, peace, love, great health, safety, well-being, and the knowingness that all of my needs are now met. You live in that feeling tone. And so, thank you for joining. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, that I haven't been on Instagram Live recently. Other things pulled my attention I needed to take care of. And I just did a week of meditation, intense meditation training in Sedona, Arizona at the Bio-Cybernaut Institute. And so I'm back with you today to do two things. To remind you that tomorrow, beginning at 11 a.m., I'll be doing my annual spring meditation retreat, but it's virtual based on the fact that we're not allowed to meet in total yet. So it's spring resolution, renewal, stabilization, and liberation, which is very important. That's tomorrow. It's a really nominal fee of $49. Go to agapelive.com and sign up. Tell your friends. Let's meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. And secondly, it's going to cover meditation, affirmative prayer, visioning, pranayama, it's sacred breath work. We're going to have some uplifting messages, uplifting music, and there's going to be an opportunity for us to do some Q&A together. Starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. And also you'll have access to it for the next 30 days. Let's say you're out of a different time zone, you can't do it at that time, sign up and you'll have access for 30 days to go over it over and over and over again, the teachings and the practices. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about soulful success. It's a part of, it's part of one of my themes, I think. And when we talk about soulful success, we're actually talking about real success, which is the unfoldment of your soul. Oftentimes in the Western world, success is expressed as attainment, getting things, acquiring. I'm acquiring a lot of money. I'm acquiring another house. I'm acquiring a bunch of cars, a bunch of clothes. And success is relegated to materialism or consumerism. And that's not really success. Real success is when you are following your path, your particular journey that's for you, you unfold, you become more yourself. That at the end of the time that you have this body, you don't look back and realize that you've gained the whole world but lost your soul. That you've gained a whole lot of stuff but didn't discover yourself. You didn't release your gifts, talents, and capacities. So soulful success has something to do with the unfoldment of your soul, releasing yourself and becoming continually, that is, the next great vision and version of who you are, you see. So you're living to grow, develop, and unfold. And that does include prosperity. It does include great health, as we announced a few minutes ago. It does include a sense of dynamic peace of mind. It does include a deep sense of security and safety, being in the arms of the Spirit. It includes all of that, you see. But it's not just relegated to your net worth. It emerges from your self-worth, that is your capital S self-worth, coming to an awareness that you are a distinct unit of infinite potential, a distinct individualized expression of the Most High Presence, you see. Not for this to be taken by your personality or by your ego, but on a soul level, you realize, you have a realization that you are a unique expression of infinite potential. And not only do you have a right and a reason to be here on the planet, you have a mandate to activate potential. If the universal presence could get upset, which it can't, it would probably get upset for wasted potential. Because we have infinite potential within us, you see. And one thing that we don't want is wasted potential. We want you to activate your potential. So when we talk about soulful success, there are three kinds of people. There are task-oriented people, there are goal-oriented people, and there are purposeful-oriented people. Now, people that are at the level of doing tasks, there are many people that do a lot of tasks throughout the day, but it's not attached to a larger goal. They don't have goals, you see, in their life. Goals and goal setting is very important, so that you can begin to embrace with intention where you want to go. What kind of person do you want to be? What do you want to share? What do you want to give? What is your intention for being here on the planet? You know, what is it that you want to create, you see? And then there are individuals who are goal-oriented, but they don't have a higher purpose. And so they end up writing down their list of goals, things they want to do or acquire or create, but it's not backed by a higher purpose. It's just goals. And then oftentimes people will discover that they achieve a lot of goals, but they don't have peace of mind. They achieve a lot of goals, but there's no, it's like empty sometimes. I remember a number of years ago, at the Super Bowl, the quarterback's mic was left on after he had done his interview, and he had won the Super Bowl, and he said something like, "Is this all there is?" You know, he had thought that once he won the Super Bowl, that, you know, he had achieved like the pinnacle of life, that it was the top of the world, ma, you know. And he had this feeling like, is this all there is? Now, I'm not going to mention who the quarterback was, but it was a number of years ago. But, you know, they don't leave those mics on anymore. You know, so it wasn't, you know, he said, this is all there is? I'm going to Disneyland and I won this? In other words, his soul was letting him know that there was something more than the goal. The goal was good. There's nothing wrong with that goal. Absolutely. You want to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. You know, you want to win the NBA championship? Great. You want to be first in the quarter meter run into the Olympics? Absolutely. Good, great goals. You know, you want to start a business? Great goals. But soulful success is attached to a higher purpose. Now, a higher purpose, and then under that is a mission. So you have task. Task is just like building sandcastles at the beach. They're going to be gone. You know, you just do your task. No goals. And then there are goals, and the goals are good, and they contain tasks. And then there's purpose, and purpose contains goals and tasks, you see. So when you operate from a purposeful, oriented life, you have a mission, you have goals, and you have tasks. So everyone has the same purpose. And that purpose is to reflect and to reveal the fundamental order and abundance and beauty and harmony of the cosmos. We could say reflect the face of divinity, reflect the face of God, Your purpose is to represent the presence that's never an absence. That's your purpose. Now you may have a mission underneath that purpose of how you would do that. I can remember a gentleman, this was back in the 90s, that he was in construction. He was a contractor, but he also had his architect license. And he had this mission of two things. His purpose was to reflect the face of God. His mission was twofold. He wanted to create architecture that didn't necessarily impinge upon the environment. He wanted it to be, wonderful for our environment. At the same time, create spaces in the homes that brought about a sense of peace, a sense of love, a sense of being taken care of. So he had this mission. And then he wanted to support many of the charities and spiritual communities that he had grown to love through his business. So he had this. So his purpose was to reflect and reveal the presence. His mission was to create these homes that were worthy to be in our environment and created a sense of peace and create enough prosperity that he could actually fund things that were making the world better. So underneath that were goals. I want to build X amount of homes. I want to give X amount of money away to these organizations that I've grown to love that are making the world a better place. Underneath that, they were tasks. They were tasks that he had to do. He had to call up people. He had to hire people. They had to buy the lumber. They had to buy, everything necessary to build the homes. You see, so we don't throw away tasks. They just become involved in your goals. You don't throw away goals. They become involved in your purpose. Underneath your purpose are your mission. Now what happens with this is when you have a higher purpose of reflecting the will of God, and the will of God is not religious, will of God simply means a greater expression of life. The will of God is always a greater expression of life and living. That's what the will of God is. So you never have to wonder, what's the will of God? The will of God is for you to have a greater expression of life because God gets to come into its own as your life. So from that dynamic, as you're living a purposeful life, and you have a mission that you have sussed out for yourself, and you have goals, obviously, you discover that year after year after year, you are a better version of yourself. You become more authentic. You become more. You've uncovered your originality. Now, one of the themes of the theme of the month has been, originality must be your causality. In other words, you as an original, one-of-a-kind spiritual being having a human incarnation, there's never ever going to be another like you, so you must be you or you won't be done. So there's a mandate. And when you discover your originality in the spirit, this timeless, eternal nature, you begin to discover that this is their causality. What do I mean by that? Many people think that the causality for their life is the heredity, or an external circumstance, or a situation, or another person, or a place, or a thing. It's the cause of their life. It's causing their happiness or their joy or even their sadness. No. Your originality is your causality. Heredity is just the condensation of thought forms that have been passed down through generations. Beliefs that have been passed down. Every thought is a unit of energy, and it can be passed down from mother and father to son or daughter, you see? This is why in the scripture it says that the sins of the father will be visited upon the children. It simply means that they're hereditary patterns, thought forms that get passed on that can be transcended and disintegrated first through what? Affirmative prayer, sacred meditation, study, and the things that I've just been talking about. So the causation of your life is not heredity, and it's not circumstance and situation. It's you. It's you. It's you. I did a PBS special a number of years ago, and it was called "You Are the Answer." The answer is you. The answer is you. Matter of fact, you can still get the book. It stands the test of time. the answer is you. You get it right here at our bookstore. But I digress. So, I want you to embody soulful success. That is, you begin to come into an awareness that you literally, figuratively, metaphorically work for the universe. You work for the universal presence. You are a representative of order and harmony and love and beauty and intelligence and abundance according to your uniqueness, you see. And you're living to activate potential, to grow and unfold to your greatest yet to be, and it's never an end to that, your greater yet to be. A constant unfolding as to who and what you are. I think sometimes, I advise you to take a journal. If you're going to take the class tomorrow, definitely have your journal next to you. I look back and I can see who Michael used to be and how that conglomeration of personalities and sub-personalities in many cases don't exist anymore, and in many cases are enhanced version of himself. And you want to live that way, that year after year after year. You don't look back too much, because you don't want to be like Lot's wife, who looked back and became a pillar of salt, which meant she looked back and became paralyzed. You look back a little bit and say, "Ooh, I'm different." That doesn't bother me as much anymore. I don't have that bad habit like I used to have. I don't have that inner put down conversation about myself that I used to have. I'm not as judgmental. Gossip doesn't flow out of my mouth. I'm not even interested in it. You'll look back and you'll see, as you take on spiritual practice, that you're changing. Emotionality doesn't take you over. You're not as bothered by stuff. You don't get as frustrated. Doesn't mean you like everything that's happening. It's not what I'm saying. But you find that, the real meaning of levitation is not just lifting your body up and raising your body up off the ground. I mean, you have cars now, you have elevators, you have boats, you have, escalators, you have all kinds of stuff to assist. You don't need to do all that. Levitation means that you're a little bit above the fray of the human experience. That when everybody is emotional and upset and, off balance, you find yourself not bothered as much. I'm not saying you like what's going on. Please don't understand that. Don't catch that. You're just not as botherable. I have a friend, beautiful heart, that wants to write a book about being unbotherable. And another friend of ours is writing a book on being unbotherable. So it's a theme. I remember I used to talk about it years ago. But that's levitation. You're actually not bothered. So what happens when you're not bothered? You become more attuned to your intuition. You begin to hear guidance and wisdom and direction that guides you how to handle stuff that comes up. So you're not just flying off the handle, so to speak. You see, you're like, I think the best way to handle this is this conversation, this note, this letter, back off, whatever it is in your particular experience at that time. But that's levitation. It's like you're a little bit above the fray of the world. And for such a time as this, we need levitators. Because we're in a period of chaos. It's called chaotic, meaning chaos is giving birth to order, but many people are caught up in the fray of chaos and can't see the underlying order that's trying to emerge. And so fear, doubt, and worry is taking over people's minds. I was watching my good buddy Sean Stevenson. He's a great nutritionist, great researcher, great being. And he has the Model Health Show, great podcast, and he's on Instagram. Give him a little shout out to Sean, because Sean brings forth such research that when he says something, it's not anecdotal. It's like he goes through the research. But he had someone on his show the other day that a great being of intelligence, speaking about how we are affected by the media. And this is not new information, but the way this guy put it was really good. And he was talking about the fact that across the world, there's a little bit more balance in terms of the news. You may get 60 negative news to 40% positive news, or sometimes 50-50, or sometimes. See, but in America, it's around 90-10. Like this, the lowest common denominator of the human experience is flooding our television sets in the United States and in a large part of the Western world, and only 10% good stuff. So people's filters are being bizarrely twisted to see the world through a lens of negativity, which creates more fear and anxiety and anxiousness and worry. And then, of course, following that would be the commercial about the pharmaceutical companies that have you something that's going to give you lasting peace, eternal good feelings, or something to that nature. I say all that to say that you want to do your spiritual practice so you're not provoked, intimidated, or seduced into fear. Provoked, intimidated, or seduced into fear, anxiety, or anxiousness, because then you can't think clearly. You can't think clearly when you're in those dynamics. And then when you can't think clearly, you make all kinds of choices out of fear rather than out of your soul connection of what's right for you. You see, you're easily controlled when you're seduced, provoked, or intimidated into fear. Not you. You're learning to levitate. And we just had a moment of prayer together, a moment of meditation, and a moment of teaching about soulful success. So in closing, hang on to the vibration of now and always. I manifest the abundance of prosperity, peace, love, great health, and the feeling tone that all of my needs are met. Just hold on to that. Come into a state of gratitude about that. And then, remember tomorrow, it's not too late. You can still sign up for the spring intensive online. Go to agapelive.com and just sign up for it. It's $49. You have access to it for 30 days, which means if you're in another time zone and you can't quite do that time at 11 a.m. Pacific time for whatever reason, you can watch it later. And we will go through the spring resolution, the renewal, the stabilization, and the liberation. Liberation is key and very important because, as I have said over the years, this is not a religious quest. This is a quest for freedom and liberation. So, stay strong until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Do your inner work and watch yourself unfold in a soulfully successful way from glory to greater glory. So we end with this namaste, this great awareness that right where we are is all of the power and presence and love flowing through us right now. And without inhibition, we embrace the angels of our higher nature, that guidance and wisdom, transformational knowledge reigns supreme in our life. And that from this moment on, every single thing works together for our individual and for our collective good. We give thanks for this and so much more and allow it to be so. And so it is. And so be it. Amen. Have a bright day, everyone. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. and I'll see you Sunday at agapelive.com for one or all of our 3 services. Have a bright day.